Hi, this is King of Review. Find the product of the x-intercepts of the quadratic function below, y equals x squared minus 6x plus 5. So this question asks for the product of the x-intercepts. The first thing I'll do is identify these x-intercepts and then find the product of them by multiplying the numbers together. So our graph y equals x squared minus 6x plus 5 is plotted below. Now let's think about what an x-intercept is. If we have a line, let's say we have a line that looks like this, the x-intercept would be this point right here. The x-intercept is where the graph crosses or touches the x-axis. So it would be right here because this is where it crosses over the x-axis. Now let's look at our parabola here. If we have a parabola here that's plotted already for us, where does it cross the x-axis? Well, it crosses right here, and it crosses right here. It has two x-intercepts. What is this point here? Well, this is at 1. The x-coordinate is 1. And what about this point here? This is at 5. So it has an x-intercept at 1 and an x-intercept at 5. Since we want to know the product, we have 1 times 5, and this gives us 5. So 5 is the answer. We can also solve this algebraically. We have our equation y equals x squared minus 6x plus 5. So let's think about the x-intercept. If we have this point here, the y-coordinate of an x-intercept is 0 because when a graph touches the x-axis, the y-value of that point is 0. So this point here, it will have an x-coordinate and it will have a y-coordinate, and the y-coordinate is 0. So if we apply that to our equation, we could set y equal to 0 and solve for x. This would give us the x-intercepts. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 5. So what we want to do is factor this portion here. When I factor, I get 0 equals x minus 5 times x minus 1. And now using the zero product property, we can solve for x. The zero product property is if we have two numbers, let's call them a and b, and if we multiply them together and get 0, this means that either one of these must be equal to 0 in order to get 0 for the answer. So we could have a times 0 gives 0, or 0 times b equals 0. So applying that to our problem, if I set either of these two terms equal to 0, I'll get 0 for the answer here. So let's do that. X minus 5 equals 0, and x minus 1 equals 0. Now solve for x. I'll add 5 on both sides. This gives me x equals 5, so that's one of our x-intercepts. And I'll add 1 to both sides over here, so I get x equals 1. And 1 is the other x-intercept. And that's what we got over here. The two x-intercepts were 1 and 5. When I multiply these together, I get 5 times 1, and this equals 5. So our answer is 5. Thanks for watching.